No, ma'am.
No? Is it clear? So can I ask the question? Aishwarya, can you tell me what is SQL? Is I'm audible? Aishwarya, you're in mute if you're talking. Aditya, guys, please unmute yourself while asking any questions or if you have doubt, anything. Okay? In the sessions, only I should not talk. You guys also should respond to that things, what I'll be asking. Okay? If you're not understanding, if you're not getting, let me know.
Yeah.
SQL is a
Yes.
compositional language that executes a single query at a time. Also,
Yeah.
PL is a procedural language. It's related to same as SQL, executes blocks of code.
Okay. Nice.
Mm,
So why we need to learn SQL? Shweta, can you please mute yourself?
No,
yes.
it's from
Yeah,
Rakshit.
please. I think, yeah. Rakshit, just check your mic. It's getting echo for my voice.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you joining both laptop and phone?
Yes.
Yeah, might be that is the issue.
What might
Join
be the
the
issue?
sorry.
What might be the issue?
You are joining for both device, right? Phone and laptop. At least mute your voice in laptop. Reduce the volume. One of the device. Okay. Because these sessions will be recorded. It will be echoing for recorded sessions as well. Yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, we'll go for Lohit. What? Why we have to learn? Why it is required for SQL?
SQL is structural query language where
Mm-hmm.
we use this one to store uh, data in a databases.
Mm-hmm.
So, so in order to interact with the databases,
Mm-hmm.
so for the information and all,
Mm-hmm.
and to retrieve the information from the database where we store it
Mm-hmm.
so efficiently, so we use the SQL.
Yes, good. Thank you, Lohit. So yesterday we have discussed about that what is SQL, what the purposes we have to use it, why we need to learn this SQL. SQL basically is a structured query language. It is not any programming language. It is a structured query language and where we can store the data. Already they have stored the data that we have to validate. It might you can also store the data and retrieve the data, delete the data if you don't want, and update the data. These are the things we can perform in the database server, which is the existing the data, or you can able to insert the data also. This all the interactions you're doing in the database that is using the query that's called as a SQL or MySQL. We can call it as either or else we can call it as a database. So these are the actions will be done by test engineers. We can call it as database engineer or QA test engineer or SQL tester. Is that clear, everyone? Basic of SQL?
Yes.
Yeah. And initially it is developed by IBM. The later it is taken for Oracle. So the current owner is Oracle. Okay. So let's go for the take the notes on this. Then we'll move for the client server architecture, how it is does work. So yesterday we have discussed about already the client server architecture partially. So how we have worked it, how we have learned it. So basically we already saw in this either Gmail account and how the Flipkart account and all right. So we in if you taken as a Flipkart account, you can take it as a one of the field as a add address, right? So you can add the in a single user, you can also take up the sign up, right? If you're using the sign up, you can add your mobile number. So if you're adding the mobile number, it will be registered with your names, the basic details, your name and contact number. Is that enough?
Name, contact number, address.
Mm-hmm. Just 1 minute. Someone is asking the link. Just a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Someone is saying something, right? So when you're logging with your username, like where if you are using Flipkart, you can take it as a Flipkart. As a first-time user, what are the required details should require?
Mobile number, and
Mhm.
we have to create a password or like OTP
Yeah.
login.
So, right nowadays, the whatever we have are shopping applications. If you are registered with your contact number, then you will receive some OTP, right? So you can able to easily log in with that, and you can able to create your profile in that website username and with your email ID and the contact number, and you can create a password. Using all these details, you can get it, and later you can add your address also, default address. While you're registering itself, it will be the default address that will be stored in the address page. When you're doing the payment, or when you accept, when you do the your product will be added to the cart, and if you deliver to the particular address, it will fetch the default address initially. Yes or no? How should I
Mhm.
get to know? Is this my user should get my default address? It will be stored in our my Flipkart server. Yes.
Yes.
So if
Yes, yes.
I'll be registered my account, my credential in the Flipkart server, will I get Aditya's address? It will be delivered my product to Aditya address? No, right? It will be delivered for my address only. Correct?
Yes.
So how should I get to know that address? Its address, whatever the fields are stored in that, we have to validate. That is UI testers. Okay. So basically, the what are the fields are there. Now, 1 second. So what are the fields are here? Like we have a giving the structure designed. The full name should accept the names, and it will be combination of numbers and alphabetical order or small letters, and you can add the numbers along with your username, and the phone number should accept only the contact number digits. The phone number it should not accept for the condition will apply it. While we designing these fields will be assigned for the characters datas. Okay, so based on the datas, it will be stored in our table format. Whenever I want to deliver to the product on particular website, it should be selected as a by default addresses. Is that correct? While be ordering. So, and
Yes.
also we can add the multiple address also, right? So if you adding the multiple address, like if you have a home or office or some other friend's address, that also you can able to add as a admin user. Who all log into that application, that user can able to add the multiple address also. So when you're next time when you deliver when you're delivering the product, or you're booking add to cart, then you want to order that product, that time you will get the option which one you want to select the address, right? Till that time it will accept only the default address. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
So the address will be selected, and you can able to deliver the product successfully. So whatever the data are stored in this database server, that will be the backend validation. So that whatever I can able to store it, the front end what we will be doing the as the actions, right? That all the actions we have to validate before this implementation go to web page. Clear? So we have to do this backend validation. Can we able to add the two or three addresses? It will accept or not? We have to check it out. So completely we'll do the backend validation. The design will be happen for the SQL developers. So based on their requirement, based on their development, we have to do backend validation as a SQL testers. Is that clear, everyone? I hope is understanding right now. You guys need any more examples? Feel free to ask me that. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So we can go for the next.
Yes, please continue.
Yeah. So this was the actual the scenario, like actual the how the design will happen. This will be the presentation layer who are all done front end or UI user accept interface user. This was the user interface. Okay, this is my user is I'm doing the actions. I'm clicking something like the sarees. I'm clicking for this options. It should get the particular details based on my requirement. I should get the details. How I'll be get to know this? It will be go to the for database to communicate the database server. It will go to the through the business or application layer. This we can call it as a backend. They'll be do the programming language which they have comfortable with the database layer based on my JSON or C sharp or Python or Java, any language. Clear? And also along with that, using the programming JavaScript or any programming language, it will be performing for the API codes as well. Clear? So the if your request the stored, whenever you want to store any data into the database layer, you should use for the language, particular language. I hope it's clear, everyone. So whenever if the data is stored in the database layer, if you want to get the response, then you will through the business layer in the database layer, you can able to get it in the presentation layer itself. So as a user, as a testers, anybody can see in the front end layer itself. I hope it's clear, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
now as a SQL testers, what is our task to do it? So whatever the data are stored in the database layer, this UI testers, this will be done by the manual tester or QA engineer. Okay, the business, this will be done by the developers, either backend developer or front end developer. The front end developer, they will do the designing things. Backend developer, they will do the API validation, or they can backend implementation, and they have design implementation. Everything is done by the this in the business and application layer. This you cannot able to visible. Okay, so the programming will be written from the backend or front end developers here. So the front end, this will be the developer, this will be design will be there. Okay, so whatever the database, this will be the database developers and database testers you have to perform in the database layer. So the task is to be developer to be insert in the database layer based on the requirement, the data to be stored in the database layer. You have a multiple servers, the Flipkart, Gmail, and Amazon, and particular control some DTDC addresses based on their own software in the application HRMS into the particular IT industries companies. Yesterday I have given one of the examples. Whenever employees are joining, the record will be stored in the HRMS domain. So that server will be there in the company website. So in the database sheet, we can able to retrieve the data So while if you're validating as a SQL tester using the query, you have to validate. So in UI testers, you cannot validate at a time for the multiple data, right? So using this queries, you can able to validate the all the data. So based on this, you can able to validate the UI layer as well. Understood? So don't worry about that. So we'll completely in the SQL sessions, we'll be discussing about that what is database layer, how the data we can store it, and what are the format we can able to store it in this place, and what are the characters will accept it in this, and how do we retrieve once we have updated, once you have insert the data, if you want to change anything. For example, if an employees are joined into the organization, I want to change my contact number, or else I want to change to the uh, addresses. So or else I need to add my if you married recent, they'll give the time within a 30 days you have to add your spouse names, or if you have a child you can add your child names for insurance for the purposes. You have to add some required details. For those details you will be giving to your HRMS portal. So that what they will do, they'll be implemented that table to insert your data into the your database layer. Clear? So whenever you are entering your employee ID, you will get all the datas. You can able to easily retrieve the datas. So how you can able to retrieve the data? Because you are stored in your, that design is happened in the database layer. So whenever you will be retrieving, you want to check your manager's reporting manager, either you want to check your details, you can go and HRMS and you can view the your complete details. Clear? I hope you understand now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So let's take the notes on this first. Then we can move for the client server architecture. Okay. So yesterday I just given the topic. So is it visible for everyone? Take heading.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Take the heading. SQL is the full form is structured query language. And we can call it as this. Initially, we can call it as SQL. And we have a contents, copy the contents one by one. SQL basic and the client server architecture, data concepts, and so on. So just let me know once you guys have copied this. Tomorrow, are you guys having manual sessions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and Thursday we have off.
Okay. Is that copied?
Not yet.
Okay, copy. So this was the completely the practical sessions. Okay, only the few things will be having the theoretical, and most of the topics will be having query related. You have to execute the own query. I'll teach you that how do we write the query, how we can able to create it, and how we can able to execute and all. So we have a separate tool to install on our laptop. There is a MySQL tool. Since it's a MySQL, it's an open source tool. We are using. So we have a lot of tools we can use in our industries. We can have a MongoDB or SQL ACE and so on and so on. That just a minute. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Others, is it done?
Done.
Done. Okay. So the next heading, SQL basics.
Ma'am, actually, I have a one doubt, ma'am.
Yes,
Can I ask?
yes, go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Like as a SQL tester,
Mhm.
like they will have only permission to see the like front end design or what back end design also. Like
So based on your policies, okay. So
okay,
basically you will do the backend validation as a SQL test engineers.
like back
So
end validation means like we have to go through with that database. Like
yeah.
data.
So
Okay,
see, they'll be having already they created some data for the
okay,
organizations.
okay,
So they'll give some queries on requirement. So in the Jira using task or anything, they'll give it
okay,
based on their requirement. The SQL developers already they will some of the organization they'll mention in the query also. Or
okay,
you while you're understanding the requirement, you have to write the query. Okay,
okay,
using the
okay,
write the query in your separate tool. For example, you can go for the MySQL workbench. There
okay,
you can execute the, they will mention which table you have to validate it.
okay, okay.
These
Like
are the datas I required. For example, I want this employee ID, for example 001 should have, these are the details,
okay,
XYZ details. I have to retrieve that data. Or
okay,
else you can retrieve the data order by class or ascending order. Using the descending order, you have to retrieve the data. So
okay,
it while you're writing the query, you have to mention from all the employee details should be display in the ascending order. So they'll mention the table and they have mentioned what you have to do the action ascending order. So I have to go to my tool and I should write my query. While I'm executing the query, it should output of the data should be displayed in the ascending order or not. This I have to validate it. So, for example, you can go to the website, the data, and also as a SQL tester, you should not only to do the backend validation. You should be ready to do the UI validation also, web page also. So, whenever you have a drop down, there the drop down or any details, okay, there also you have to go to the some particular where I'll be navigating into the database. There also you will be having some of the page or some of the feature based on the your table. So there also the data will be stored. For example, I'm saying it should be displaying in the ascending order, right? The same data should be displaying in the ascending order in your web page also, visible also, correct? So
okay,
like this you have to validate based on your convenient. You have to validate with the front end validation as well as back end validation.
okay. It is like
That's yeah.
Okay, it's depend upon requirements, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so the main intention is QA test engineer. You are ready to do this front end validation and back end validation both.
Like, ma'am, in both back end and front end, they just
Mm-hmm.
created that database. Okay, means they
Mm-hmm.
will not store any like information about user because they don't know
Mm-hmm.
who is the user. It is like
Mm-hmm.
random, right, ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
who will do this all, like they will act as a user. So
Yes, Scrum Master will address it. What exactly you have to do it.
yeah, okay, okay,
So your Scrum Master is the main person to tell you guys to do what exactly you have to do it.
okay, okay. Like he will act as a
Yes.
user like.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay, yeah, that is
So he'll tell you that while you have a daily stand-up call, he'll be
okay.
assigning you what exactly you have to start. You have many
Okay.
people, okay? Developers will have, architect will have, and test engineers,
Yes,
and
yes.
all these, the Scrum Master and the project manager, everyone will be there, okay?
Okay, okay.
And in this back end also, you will be having AWS.
Yeah,
API, where API also comes to backend,
like
and
we will use
SQL
post.
also you will come to backend.
Okay,
API, the manual you will get as a postman tool. For
okay,
automation, you have separate things.
okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay,
So
okay,
initially, before do automation, we have to do manual only, right? With the
okay.
requirement, if it is not at all working manual, there is no use to do automation, right?
Yeah, right, ma'am.
Mhm.
Okay, okay,
So
thank you.
yeah, based on your, like a Scrum Master will tell you, you can go ahead for that. So based on your experience also, you are ready to do this. You can able to achieve the, looking into the requirement itself, you can able to get the clarify. If still not understanding, then you can reach out to your particular respective developers as well. They'll also guide you. Database developer.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone have any doubt? Is that clear? Others as well? Okay. So I'll go for the next. Take heading as a SQL basics. So before going to that SQL basics, just take the questions here under SQL basics. What is SQL? What is SQL? Why we need to learn SQL? Or why are we need SQL? Why are need? Why are we need SQL? And why is SQL required for testing? Why SQL required for testing, especially? Why are we need to learn SQL? Just make a note for your understanding. Learn SQL. Done. So take the heading. What is SQL?
Okay.
Under that, what is SQL? Just copy. To perform, to perform various activities, to perform various activities to perform various activities. To perform various activities, comma, test engineer, test engineers, test engineers needs to interact with database, test engineers needs to interact with database. To perform various activities, comma, test engineer needs to interact with database is only possible using SQL query. Is only possible using SQL queries. Done?
Yeah, done, ma'am.
So because of that, we required SQL knowledge. Okay. So, and the next line, hence, test engineer, hence, test engineer should have or required, re- should have or required SQL knowledge. Hence, test engineers should have or required SQL knowledge. I said it's done. It's completed. Shall I,
Yes.
shall I repeat once again? Anyone?
No, ma'am. Continue.
Okay. So I just said you the one statement, right? Various activities. What are the various activities we have to do in the database as a test engineer? Yesterday we have discussed. Today also.
Collection of data.
Sorry.
Collection of data.
Collection of
Collecting the
data.
data.
Okay. The next.
Create,
Validate the data.
create, update, delete.
Yes.
Validate,
Yeah.
manage, store.
Yeah. We can call it as we can whatever the interaction we'll do the in the database, you can do the create, either modify or update, or you can remove or delete, or you can retrieve or access the data. These are the activities we will do in the database using SQL queries. Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the next line, the small heading, possible possible interaction possible interaction with the database. What are the possible actions we'll do it? We can do first one, storing new data. Storing new data in the database. What are the possible interaction we'll do? Storing, or we can call it as create also. Create a table or data, or we can do the insert the data also. These all three names are the same. It's a similar meaning, we'll get it. Storing new data in the database. Next, modifying or you can call it as update the data already stored, existing, okay, existing data. The data stored or existing data. So already the data, some data will be stored in my database. If I want to do some modification, patch of modification, I want to update some particular fields, particular shell. So for that also I can do using the SQL queries. Modifying or update the data stored. The third one, removing or retrieve removing or what we can call the another name.
Delete.
Yeah,
Deleting.
Delete.
we can remove or deleting the data which is already stored the data in the database. Only that data you can able to remove or delete the data. If some data is not existed in the database, what will happen? If I'm trying to remove or
Blank
delete,
Error.
it will throw error.
Yeah.
It will mention does not exist the data.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will get to know in upcoming days, okay? Or else it will not retrieving any data. It will show empty. Sometimes it will throw error. Clear?
Yes,
Based
ma'am.
on the design, you will get it. Removing or deleting the data in the database. These are the interaction. These are the one of the interaction we'll do in the database. And the last one we can do accessing or retrieve the data in the database. So access and retrieve, this is just a one small word, but you have a use concept. How do we access? How do we retrieve the data? Whether I can retrieve the column data, whether I can, whether I'll be able to retrieve the row data, or based on any specific condition of the data, or you can use the multiple methods we'll be having in upcoming sessions. You might be get to know that what, how do we can do the access or retrieve the data from the databases. Only the existing data I can able to retrieve the data. All this should be these all the things like modifying or removing, accessing. These three interaction will be happen only the existing data in the databases. If it is the data is not there, whenever you want to do these three things, it will throw immediately error or it will throw based on the conditions. Clear? I hope you understand everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
So is that copied? Possible interaction with the database?
Yes, ma'am.
So the next question, make a subheading. Why are we learning SQL or why are we need to learn SQL?
I think the previous point which you gave is the answer for this one, right? Like, for
It's
what is
also
this
one of
skill?
the answer, and I'll give you more answer. Okay.
Okay.
This is also one of the answer. Okay. It's not, I'm not telling that it's a
No,
wrong.
not this one. Like before that, to perform various activities, test engineers need to interact
Mhm.
with database, which is only possible using SQL queries. Hence test
Yeah.
engineers require SQL.
Yes. So that is what is SQL, I'm saying. So why are we need to learn SQL? I'll tell you the answer. Okay.
Okay.
You can say that there is not an any wrong way whether if you're telling that answer. Okay. It is correct also. It's a one of the answers. But some interview they'll expect more. Is there any other answer I can able to get it for this learn SQL? Okay.
Got it.
Fine. Just take the heading. Why are we need to learn SQL? So the here just copy this diagram. So the presentation layer, the business layer, and database layer. So whenever see, I just said you right. So what is SQL? These are the possible interaction we'll do in the database. So these are the all the answer also. It should be correct. So whenever they will say for the interview, why are we need to learn SQL? Whatever I'm giving the answer, what is SQL? That also you have to tell, and I'll give you the few more points why we need to learn SQL also. So just copy this diagram. So as soon as this copied, let me know. I'll tell you the some points. Copy.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Okay. Others copied?
Copied, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Take the point. The first point. Since since SQL is a query language, the first point. Since SQL is a query language, so we can learn easily. The first point why we need to learn. Okay. Since SQL is a query language, so we can learn easily. SQL is a query language, so we can learn easily. Second point, client server access. Client server access, copy in front of client server access. We can access the application. We can access the application. We can access the application. Request and response. Request and response from the database easily. So we can access the application. We can access the any applications, request and response from the database easily. So if you don't have a client server architecture, can we able to store the data or retrieve the data? I cannot able to store if you don't have any database layer. How can I store my all the data? So if the data is not stored in this the particular any server in the database server, we cannot able to retrieve it, right? It will be erased, right?
Yes,
Yes or
ma'am.
no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's the reason you should require for the database. Okay. Database layer. You can able to store the data anytime, any day you can able to retrieve the data. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I can give one more example. I think everyone will know about this. So university, if you're done of you have done the video exams, right? Look, wherever you return the exams, that all the marks you have already some UAN number. The UAN number you got generated, right? If you have done the BSc, BE, any technical background, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the UAN generated as soon as your results came. How should I get that my data, my results? Is it my data, all my marks, all the exams marks will be stored in my particular database? If I'll be entering some XYZ UAN number, I'll be get the XYZ person complete data, the sem wise percentage or segregate. You can able to get the which are the annual. I think I can say this annual marks also, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the all your data will be getting. How it will be stored? It will be stored in your students database layer. The government server will be having the own application, right? So that application will be having own server. The particular employee using UNID, when if the UNID is not present in the database, it will throw an error, right? If it is that present in the UAN layer, then if we have a marks, if it is a fail or pass, anything it will be present in, it should be stored in the database layer. So you will retrieve the data. Yes or no? How the data will be stored? It will be stored in the table format. It might be the manual enter or it will be the written in the bulk of data will be stored in our programming in the backend validation. It depends on the how it is developed on the applications. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope this is the best example you can able to remember for this, how the data will be stored in there. If you not written any exam on this, some science or social, so you will not get any data. So you will get the zero or not attended. The empty data you will get it when you are entering your UN number, right? If the data is not present. I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So you guys can just next sessions I can ask please come with one of the different any examples like how I'll be telling for the student databases and HRMS databases and Flipkart data will be stored in our database layer. Like this, you guys also come with one of the examples for tomorrow sessions. I can ask anybody. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So the next point we can go. So what is the second point? The client server access. You can access the application easily. You can do the request and response from the databases easily. If the data is stored in the server, we can able to do the retrieve request and response from the database very easily. So the next point, simple troubleshooting. Is it a simple troubleshooting? Right now, no, you guys not have the answer this, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to know in upcoming days. Okay, how it will be the simple troubleshooting. So right now, you just make a note this. Since it is a query language, so in which we can able to easily troubleshoot the issues or errors. Okay, this is the answer I can give as of now. So in upcoming days, you will get to know how I can able to troubleshoot while writing the queries. How can I able to identify? So whenever you writing the any queries, it is, if you're executing the queries, it easily retrieving in the simple English language. Whatever you have a error or issues, it will be show in the after execution itself. So it is, anybody can look into the error or look into the issues. You can able to fix the issues. So because of that, I'm calling as a simple troubleshooting. Okay. Copy simple troubleshooting. In front of that, copy this. Since it's a query language, since it's a query language in which we can easily troubleshooting the issues or errors. Since it is a query language in which we can easily troubleshooting the issues or errors. The issues or errors. So this SQL queries, I can easily store or request the data, and I can easily get my response of all the data which is present in the database layer. Because of that, we can learn SQL. Clear? It's a very easy, simple. We can able to store, we can able to simple retrieve the data, and these things we can do it. So the next heading, is it done, everyone? Shall I repeat once again?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So take the next question. Why SQL? Why SQL is required for testing? Why SQL is required for testing? Already we have an answer for this. Why SQL is required for test engineer or testing?
It is a simple query language.
It's a simple query language, right? And also,
Okay.
to achieve the backend validation. So, especially the SQL is to do the backend validation, right? That is the answer will be expected. Okay. Why SQL is required for as a test engineers to achieve the backend validation. To achieve the backend validation means checking the what are the data are present in the databases. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Take the question answer here. Why SQL is required for testing, or what's the purposes? You can call it as other name, other question. What is the purposes we can use it? What is the purposes we need to use SQL? Almost similar answer only, just a way of different answering the questions. Okay. What is the purposes we need to use SQL for testing? So the answer is as a test engineer, as a test engineer, as a test engineer or tester, as SQL tester, to achieve backend validation, to achieve backend validation. Again, it came to the first answer itself. What does mean by backend validation? What does mean by backend validation? Anyone? Same answer. Backend validation means we can do the storing or
Storing, create.
update or remove or access. See, I'll tell you these all these 4 points will comes to that day one session to till the end of the SQL sessions. Okay. So you remember this storing or update or deleting or access or retrieve the data. Clear? So I'll use many of the places, but different names. Okay. So as a tester to achieve backend validation, we need to learn SQL or we required SQL for testing. You can call it as other name like that is checking the data into the databases. Checking the data into the database. Checking the data in the database or into the databases. In the database. Done? Copied everyone? And one more thing, just for your here, and it is not a case sensitive. You can use for uppercase and lowercase of this. So if you go as any programming language, either Python or Java, is it a case sensitive? Anybody knows
Yes,
about that?
yes, ma'am. It
Yes.
is a
But in the query language, it is not a case sensitive. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I can show you this here. I can go here. Don't worry about that. This was the tool, we can use it. Show databases. And I can select use, I can select QA, show tables. So I can take that, select, start from demo. No table. I can take another data on QA2. So if the data is not there, what will throw? Empty set.
Yes, ma'am. It is a
So here I can give another, I'll just check for any table. EMP table, let me search it for this. Why? Okay. This was very long back. I have created these tables. I'll create it another new table for you guys. Okay. See here, if the data is present in a student table, is it present in the table format?
yes, ma'am.
So always once you have installed this SQL tool, you have to enter your password. So this is every time whenever you are opening your tools. So we have a two format for using the MySQL. One it is command format and another one is a workbench. I'll show you the later in the upcoming days. So as soon as you are entering your password, every time you are entering the password, you are connecting with the SQL server. Okay. So once you connected with the SQL server, you can check the how many databases are present. So by default, you will have some default database will be there, information schema and performance schema and sys, Shakila, and so on. So on. You will get to know that what are the database will be the having by default. So these are this MySQL, QA, QAC. These all test one, test two. These are all I have created databases. We can also create our own databases for the testing purposes. Okay. So once you given as a show databases, it will be show the list of databases are available in my SQL server. And one more thing, whatever I have created apart from this default database, performance information schema and Shakila and sys and world, these databases will be present for you guys also. As soon as you install for MySQL tool, this database will be present. If you do the any changes, that will not that will impact only the temporarily. It will not done the any changes in the original table or the databases. Clear? So whatever I have created these QA and QAC, all these databases, right? This will not reflect on your laptop because this was a locally I have created. So it is visible only for my user in my laptop itself. Understood? Just I'm giving basic idea. I'll explain you once again what is database, how do we create it, and how do we insert the data, and how can we update. Everything I'll show you the later in the sessions. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So once you have created the database, you have to select your database. So for that command, we are using the use QA. So once your database is selected, it is showing as a database got changed. So then you can check the tables. You can also you have to create the tables, and by default is there, right? World. Let me, I can use world. You have lot of data here. Okay. So it got changed. So if I'll be searching my student table, will I get it in the world databases? It is showing error, right? Because it does not exist my table into this world databases. Get? Got it, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the tables only present in the world databases. The city, country languages. Okay. So if I'll be entering select star from city, I'll give the city. So what are the cities are present in the world? All the city details will comes here. Is it coming everything? This entire world. We have a lot of countries, right? Lot of cities are there.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me check how many cities are there in the world. So this will be the default cities. If there's anything new cities are generated, that also will be adding, right? So this will not added by us. This will be added by default in the server. Okay. So currently, as of now, 4,079 cities are present. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So here you can able to get to know that USA, and what is this? Let me, I can check it. India. In India, these are the cities are there. So you can see Mysore is also one of the city. Understood? In this India, this is the country and this is the state. Yes or no?
Yes,
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So these are the minimum column is present. So let me again show this. Yeah. This is the what is the population in this city and what are the district or state you can call it as, and this is the country code, which is the country code is there, and what is the city name and ID. So the population of these cities will get it. I hope it's clear, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will get to know in upcoming days how can I able to search it. So I'll go to the later sessions. Okay. So now what I have to discuss. Let me, I can, yeah. So that I can use. So select star from country. Is it I'm getting? Is it any case sensitive?
No, ma'am.
So are you guys understand why I'm just showing? Because you have a use data. For that purposes, you will not getting the table format. Okay. See, we have used data. Is it showing in the table proper format? There is a less data, because of that it will show as a table. So now it is also showing as a table. Little you can just see this. Okay. Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, for the database, there is no storage limit, ma'am.
No,
Like,
this was the default. Yeah, there is no storage in the databases. Okay.
yeah.
I'll
Okay.
tell.
Continuously, we are giving the data, no, ma'am. That's why.
Yeah. And one more thing, there will be the design. I'll show you the later. Before you're inserting any data, you have some design. You
Okay.
have to enter this database only, or this column, or this length of the character should be inserted into the particular cell. That we can discuss in the upcoming days. Just I'm showing you now the one point. It's a not case sensitive.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So you can use the uppercase or lowercase or combination of anything. So, but on the programming language, you cannot use the any it should be used the particular itself. The if it is having the keyword should be on uppercase, you have to use uppercase. If you have a lowercase, you have to use the lowercase itself. The Python or Java, any other languages. Understood? But in the SQL query is not a case sensitive. Because of that also, the testing can able to learn. It's not case sensitive. Is it done, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So take the heading client server architecture. Client server architecture. Or we can call it as how does SQL will work? How does SQL will work? So this was the very used concept. Tomorrow sessions I can continue with this with the examples, and we can able to explain for each and everything. The how the architecture will work, client server architecture, initially how it will be happening. So I just showed you this, right? If I'll be opening for the Gmail, so it should be opened as a create an account. How can I get this page only? So this was the client server architecture. This was the client. So it is retrieving whatever I'm requesting, I'll be getting the response. So this is very easy. I can look and feel. So completely the backend, how I'll be get the data, where I'll be communicating in the backend validation. So that complete the architecture we can discuss on the tomorrow sessions. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So is that copied heading client server architecture, or else how does SQL will work? So in the backend, how SQL will be working. So this will be discussing on the tomorrow session. Just go through that in the this why SQL is required and what is the purposes we have to learn. What is SQL and these things, and go for the website and how it will be the checking. So just tomorrow session, just come with any one of the examples for the SQL. I just told you, right? So come with that examples. So we'll explain for this client server architecture. It's very easy, and I'll show you that and use concept little. So we'll go. I'll give you the notes completely on the client server architecture tomorrow sessions and after the explanations. Understood?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
So I'll just stop my sharing and the video, recorded video. Just stay back.